Welcome. Are we unmuted?
Welcome back to the MIT IIP League of Legends Tournament semifinals. We are in pick and ban for Game 3 after a beautiful, beautiful comeback and turnaround game from Clambassadors in Game 2. Let's talk about the pick ban phase here, Adam. We've seen Singed banned out every single game.
Singed and Ari banned every game by those respective teams. Again, Singed targeted at Marl Shratel. That is by far his favorite champion.
Yeah.
And Ari targeted at X Serenity.
Oh, the Sejuani ban coming in. You know, after getting to know these players for like a little better by actually watching them play. First of all, I think the Sejuani is a great ban in this situation. Second of all, I would love to see them on some different champions. I would be very interested to see a top lane matchup that is frankly not Aurelia Renekton.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Renekton has been very strong in both games. Even though Final 5.0 lost Game 2, that Renekton was a big player in that matchup. So I guess. Yeah. They're picking up the Aurelia first this time.
Wow,
I like this.
First pick Aurelia from Final 5.0. First pick Jinx.
Taking it away from Marl Shratel. Maybe forcing him to find another champion, maybe outside of his comfort zone.
This is going to be very interesting.
Sorry guys.
Sorry about that. Little bit of technical troubles coming in here. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties coming in.
The Jinx was really strong in the last game, so I'd like to see that again, maybe.
Yep, and I would be very interested in seeing the Gnar. We have not seen it at all this series. It has shown itself to be a very powerful pick in the right hands, and the Skarner potentially very, very interesting a jungle choice. I think it is too early to safely lock that.
Yeah.
But we will see. We will see.
It does look like they are going to go with that. I guess they want to hold off on their top and mid picks for now, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Ooh. Maybe a Scion. That's a Scion jungle. I have seen a lot of Scion in the top lane. It actually could be a bit of a lane boy in some situations. Coming out of the jungle, I'm not sure how that'll work.
He has good ganks, both before and after 6.
He will have very strong ganks.
His clear is average, sustained, definitely above average because that shield helps keep him alive and healthy. Overall, not a jungler I would personally recommend, but definitely has the strong points. And that does actually get locked in. So we are going to. I mean, I heavily doubt we're going to see Aurelia jungle. So I think it's going to be the Scion jungle coming in here.
I wonder what potential fight will pick up here. Will he pick up his own? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see as the timer ticks down. And it looks like we are going to have a remake forced here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with
that. All right.
Someone in Twitch chat said internet is.
Oh, fire alarm in one of the dorms. All right. So looks like we will be. Oh yes.
All right. Let's.
All right, yeah. So it looks like there was a fire alarm in one of the players' buildings. So we are going to try to get back into game as soon as we can. Same bans, same champion picks, and everything. We are in the process of remaking the game right now. Hopefully, the fire alarm will end soon. I personally have played through a fire alarm before. It's not very pleasant. You don't do very well, and it is bad. So,
it's also illegal. So
wait, is it actually illegal?
You actually can get fined if you don't leave the building.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, so this dorm has had fire alarms for like. There was one night where we had 3 fire alarms in one night, and honestly, after that, I just stopped leaving the building for them. But yeah. Anyways, we're gonna. I mean, we can hear the fire alarm out the window now. So hopefully that will get resolved soon. We will be remaking the game with the same picks and bans. So just to remind you, Singed, Katarina, and Sejuani were the bans on the side of Final 5, and Ari Rek'Sai Jarvan were the bans on the side.
Clambassadors.
Sorry, of Clambassadors there. Picks for Aurelia into Skarner and Jinx. Very interesting first pick Skarner, honestly. I honestly do not know what to make of that. Like,
Skarner definitely good at setting up picks.
definitely. Like, I'm just curious if they have a specific comp built around him because Skarner is a very good champion, and he, by definition, he's very good at what he does because he is the only champion that can do it well. Like to any degree. Like Lee Sin can do it, kind of, not really. Like you can't stun the target while you're kicking them. Like that's yeah.
And also it's, I guess, well, you can also flash away from Skarner.
You can flash away from Skarner, but after he grabs you, he says, "There's no escape."
And he's right. There is no escape.
Yeah. So Skarner being like literally the best champion at what he does. That said, he is not the most versatile or flexible pick. So I am very, very curious what Clambassadors has planned going into this game.
If I had to guess, I think they want to hide their mid and top.
Yeah, that would be true. Hiding the mid pick is very understandable. I may have preferred to pick the top laner instead of the Skarner because the top lane was already locked in.
Yeah, maybe go for a counter pick to that Aurelia.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's kind of a toss-up either way, right? In either case, you have a pick that is potentially team comp dependent and can potentially just be countered by your opponent's comp or not mesh into any team comp that you are trying to put together in the future. So I don't know. I don't disagree with this Skarner pick. I am very curious and very interested to see where it goes. What do you think about the Sion jungle, though?
I'm interested to see this. We'll have to see how it works out. He certainly can clear the jungle just fine. He will survive the jungle because of his shield.
Yeah. His ganks are quite frankly terrifying. If he sets,
I can imagine.
If he gets the right angle, he will slow you, and if he slows you, he will probably either knock you up or slow you even more. And your mid laner, or no, well, not your mid laner, but your opposing laner, CC and damage, all going to come through during that time your slower knocked up. Level 6, his ganks become even more terrifying because
kind of like a Rengar, you want to gank up the lane, not from the jungle.
Yes, this is definitely true, and this is definitely something that we will be watching for.
Yeah, and Sion can gank from really far away. That ultimate will cover a lot of ground.
Interestingly, actually, so Sion's movement speed. I mean, since we have this little pause here while we remake the game and wait for the fire alarm, thought we might talk about some interesting things in League. So Sion's movement speed is theoretically fixed at 950 during his ultimate after a slow ramp-up time. So in theory, his ultimate should travel the same distance. However, if you start with approximately equivalent or more than 950 movement speed, it will actually slowly ramp down to 950 instead, allowing you to cover a greater overall distance. So granted, this is very unlikely to happen in case unless you're ulting out of your fountain with home guards, but it's actually kind of interesting because for an ability that is theoretically supposed to be fixed distance, you can actually go like a good 500 or 600 units farther than you would have gone without the home guards. So that's kind of a weird thing about Sion's ult and home guards. Similarly, if you guys have not seen this before, Kalista trying to pick up Sion during his ultimate, it's actually really funny because Sion's ultimate can't be interrupted, and something in the way Riot's code works makes that actually take precedence over Kalista's grab. So what that'll do is it'll actually just pause Kalista's grab entirely until Sion has finished his ultimate. When Sion finishes his ult, no matter where he is, he could be 5,000 units away, he will instantly snap back to Kalista, and then Kalista's ultimate will activate. So
it's one of the more entertaining mechanics in the game, let's just say.
It's one of the stranger quirks of the League of Legends engine. I'll just leave it at that. No judgments on Riot, no judgments on Riot's programming, even though everything is coded as minions in the end.
Yeah.
There was a glitch 4.15, 4.16. I forget what patch it was on. It was probably 4.14. Yeah, it was probably 4.14.
Every bug always was 4.14.
Yeah, but it came to light that a quirk with the way Azir's ultimate Emperor's Divide was coded, such that if there was an enemy Jace who used the acceleration gate, and Azir ulted directly on to the acceleration gate, the Azir ultimate would actually destroy acceleration gate and give Azir experience and CS and gold consistent with that of minions. So, rather famously and well documentedly, Bjergsen actually did this on stream, gaining a 4-level advantage over his enemy laner with pretty much no effort involved whatsoever.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
So it looks like Zillion Bot going to join Final 5.0 in place of their.
I don't think I agree with this
decision
with this drafting of Zillion Bot. I think I would much prefer to see something a little bit more, I don't know, tanky and consistent. Maybe like a Shen bot or a Malphite bot. That's the one.
Malphite bot is really annoying, guys. He will just ult you out of nowhere.
And so we have played a lot of bots in our day, because it's a good way to kill time when you don't want to like be too try hard, like even less try hard than normals, guys. Like this is the kind of chill that we're talking about here. And whenever there's a Malphite bot on the other team, our team feeds. Someone on our team will feed if there is Malphite or Veigar on the enemy team. It is just that bad. There's actually a video on YouTube of Dyrus leveling his Latin America Smurf, going like 0 and 13 against the Veigar bot, and it's painful to watch.
It's a bit, yeah, no, Veigar bot just does not miss that event horizon. It's like, the thing with bots is, to them, event horizon is no different from any other skill shot. So they'll just put it down because there's no cast time. It's impossible to dodge.
Faker bot.
Pretty much.
Pretty much Faker bot. If you guys haven't seen the Faker Veigar highlights, go check them out, because he literally places the Sun Cage as if it were a targeted ability and destroys everybody. Man, that is just... Veigar bot is just unfair, Adam.
Just a bit. So obviously, sounds like the fire alarm's still going off, so still probably a couple of minutes. We did see sirens going by. Maybe those are the...
Yeah, we did hear some sirens. Let's rivet you with some other interesting League of Legends facts. So, due to a quirk in the way that one particular mastery deep down in the defensive tree is coded, otherwise known as one of the least effective masteries in the game for regular play, Runic Blessing. I'm sure you've all considered taking that at some point and decided not to, because honestly, it's just not that good. What it does, for those of you who don't know, is it gives you a shield at the beginning of the game of 50 flat health, not scaling with anything, a 50-point shield, and it does not refresh when you go back to base. It only refreshes when you die. However, Adam will explain.
However, this shield never actually wears off. It will disappear once you get chunked below the shield amount.
Yeah.
However, therefore it is coded as infinite duration. Now, another quirk that can happen, there's this champion called Mumu who has a passive that reduces damage dealt to him by a flat amount.
I think it's 10 points of damage reduced at rank 5 of Tantrum. Theoretically, Fizz could also pull this off, though I just haven't seen that. It would be more difficult.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you take negative damage, so if you take less than that amount of damage, you'll be taking negative damage because it'll be reduced below 0. It turns out when you take negative damage, it actually heals you, or at least will build up this shield. Now, because you can't heal, it will decide to just augment this shield, because the shield has infinite duration. It will just continue
to
augment this shield. So you can build up a shield of infinite duration of infinite amount. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
literally what you can do is you can just drag all of the enemy minion waves towards you. You will not die because you have built up 200 armor and you have a flat minus 10 damage. So you are actually just taking negative like 2 or 3 damage from each minion auto attack. That 2 or 3 damage is going to actually get added to your shield. And the net result is a Mumu with I mean, it depends on how long you do it for, obviously, but I've seen like a movement with like a 9 or 10,000 HP shield. It gets kind of ridiculous,
Yeah.
and I don't know why Riot thought this would be a good idea, but it was definitely funny.
Granted, it's not really practical in normal games, but
It's not practical in normal games, but it was really fun to watch.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll see a Mumu. We saw him in the quarterfinals, but it didn't really work out in the end.
It didn't pan out in the end. The disengage and general spreading out was too good, and Amumu's ults were not as impactful as they could have been. Yeah, Mumu really fallen from favor as a pick throughout all ELOs, actually. Like, I remember back in Season 1 to Season 2 when Kobe, who now casts Rene LCS, when he used to play for CLG, his most played champion is Mumu. His most played champion is still a Mumu, but I guess it's just not as good anymore.
I used to love playing a Mumu, but they just kept nerfing him over and over again.
Yeah, kind of like Aurelia.
Better nerf Aurelia.
Yeah, except we all know how all that went out, right?
Yeah, Aurelia, once again, considered a strong pick for whatever reason.
I think it's more because of Triforce than because of Aurelia, but, you know, it happens. Amumu, fun fact, Amumu was actually my main when I was first starting to play this game and climbing to 30. Mostly because he was the easiest jungler to do in Season 2 with how runes are masteries, because you could literally just max Tantrum and, well, not take negative damage, but take no damage from the jungle.
Also back when you could pull out those buff camps, so you would not kill those the small minions early, and then thereby Tantrum would be up much quicker.
Yeah, I got really good at landing Bandage Toss. Granted, against sub-level 30 players, but, you know, I thought I was really good, and I definitely wasn't. So that was very humbling. Adam, tell us about the champion you made when climbing to level 30.
I mained Ashe. I don't think I played a single game of a champion who wasn't Ashe in my climb to level 30.
I thought we tried to get you to play Akali and Graves.
I think that was after I hit level 30.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, Ashe is like not
Ashe is like the
not a very skill or mechanically intensive champion, so we wanted to get him like into like how to like execute combos and go in aggressively and trade aggressively. So he picked up on the fact that Akali and Graves both had like consistent reproducible combos that they could use for both laning and team fights, and we tried to get him into Akali and Graves. Graves worked okay because, you know, he's an AD carry like Ashe. Akali did not.
Akali was not my best champion. I still have. I can see why Akali does so much damage, but
no, maybe not anymore because they removed her E proccing the mark.
You know, I don't really think that's a big nerf.
I think it's a big nerf. It's a big nerf to her potential damage output. Like, the thing is, like, a lot of the time you could get your E proc off and kill them before they flashed away, and now that's just not going to cut it. It makes her much less fluid as a champion, which I actually don't like. I would much rather they have just nerfed her Q numbers.
I think her Q numbers definitely need to take a bit of a hit.
Like, honestly, like, you know how against just straight up nerfing numbers I am, but in this case, I legitimately think that reducing Q's numbers was a better solution, because they literally buffed her E to proc her Q as a quality of life fix in Season 3. So it makes no sense to revert the quality of life fix to try to take power away from her now in Season 5. Like, I just don't understand why that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the most effective. I guess we'll have to see if Riot takes any future steps in that regard.
Yeah. The Katarina, the proposed Katarina changes are also very interesting.
I haven't seen them, actually.
I mean, there have been a bunch of iterations floating around, but a lot of them make her more dependent on AD and less on AP, which most of the top caliber Katarina players don't really agree with.
I imagine Scar probably isn't very happy.
Scar is not happy. They actually, before Riot's done each major Katarina rework, they've asked the opinions of Scar and Tianxi, who are both very, very good players, top 200 every season probably. Yeah. And very, very known for being Katarina mains. And neither of them particularly like any of the new proposed iterations of Katarina that they're going through. So it's gonna be an interesting future for our mid reset assassin.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Katarina, I don't like dealing with Katarina because if she gets those resets, it's over.
Yeah, I mean,
I have been stomped in far too many low games by
people who
Katarina.
don't know how to deal with Katarina. Yeah. I mean, like honestly, I don't like playing against Katarina either, but it's really not worse than like Pantheon, who can gank you from thousands of units away in a way that you just cannot get out of, or like
True.
Season 1 Evelyn, who could stun you out of nowhere. That was fair. Season 1 Evelyn probably Riot's biggest balance flaw, and I'm happy that was in Season 1 because they've had some time to learn from their mistakes. Overall, I really like the direction Riot's taking this game. Season 5 changes were very interesting. Added a lot of diversity to the game.
And I really like where they're going with champion design, especially.
Oh yeah.
They're adding a lot more nuance to the champions kits so that there's a lot more, I guess, diversity in terms of skill, how much skill affects your performance on a champion. Like,
right.
With a champion like, say, I'm trying to think of a good example.
Yasuo?
Well, Yasuo, if you're bad, you're just going to be really hard.
All right.
I was going to say, I wanted something like Jax, for instance. A really simple kit,
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Do you want a simple one? Okay.
Jax has actually a really simple kit. However, it is actually ridiculous how much more you get out of them the better you are at him. Like, the best Jax players in the world have this way of just getting every single tick of damage out that they can without dying.
You have to be good at that if you want to be really good at Jax.
Then more recently, I guess, I really like Callista. It's actually a really broken mechanic in my opinion, but the way that she can kite everything. Actually, I hate Callista because I'm a jungler and I can't land anything on her, but
your flank can't even tell you no if you can't land your Q out.
Exactly. However, in terms of concept and design, I really like this notion where they're taking this idea of animation canceling, which isn't necessarily something you're thinking about when you're designing the game, but is something that has become so ingrained into it. Now they're actually using it as effectively a mechanic. No, you're not canceling your animation, but you're getting a small hop.
As a mechanic and a balancing tool, yeah. I personally think that's really cool. I was actually so when Draven first came out, I was really interested to see like how he would be balanced and how people would play him and how like he would just develop as a champion. Because like the catching axis mechanic, like there had been no mechanic up to date that has interacted with auto attacks so extensively, and it was just very interesting to see that. And I'm just getting the same sort of feeling with Callista. Like I am very, very excited and curious to see how Callista will develop and grow as a champion.
Actually pulling out Callista today had a huge game. Actually did build Hurricane.
Not first, I hope.
No, Blade of the Rune King into Hurricane. Hurricane actually, despite our misgivings, actually not bad on Callista. Not as a rush.
I never said that is what I said was bad. Hurricane rush on Callista is awful. You do
Hurricane
nothing.
Does let you get those ren stacks down really quickly across a lot of people, and Sneaky just had a hell of a game. Piglet got hugely denied in lane. Yeah, I also really like Azir actually right
now.
#
LCS spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, sorry guys, if you're watching this, we might spoil LCS.
And also competitive league spoilers. We just talk about competitive league a lot. Like I literally the two things I do with my life are work and watch competitive league. So it's understandable that I talk about competitive league a lot.
I really love Azir in concept.
Azir's cool.
Now that they've fixed most of the bugs that he had on release, he's just a great champion. He's very much a DPS type mage, with a really cool kit. He has a lot of mobility and tremendous outplay potential. I just love watching Azir. I wish I were good at him, but
would you say, Adam? Would you say Azir brings a lot of strategic diversity to the table?
Actually, yes, I think he does. Because Azir has this unique niche that most mages don't have. It's like a Karthus, but with zone control almost, where Karthus has that persistent damage from his Qs, but his zone is just around him, whereas Azir creates a great zone around his soldiers, and you can't step into those soldiers because then you'll be taking a lot of DPS, especially once he builds up that CDR and attack speed.
Yeah. Actually, in the way he fits into a team, actually, he reminds me a lot of Caitlyn.
Yeah,
Because you can zone and get off damage from range and have a lot of zoning tools to use for sieges. Plus, you're just good at sieges because your W does hundreds of damage to turrets.
Oh yeah.
So he's actually a very interesting champion. Obviously, because he's probably one of the most complex champions Riot's ever released. Like
he's very complicated. Yeah, you have to keep track of those soldiers and get them in the right spots. That's important.
Oh yeah. But yeah, he is so cool because he can fit into not fit into, but he can fill so many niches in a team, and I think that is very valuable, and that is also incredibly cool as a champion to be able to do. We do see that the fire alarm has ended, so we are trying to remake the game as soon as possible. We will be getting into Champ Select. Very sorry about the delay to all of the viewers out there, but we will be loading into Champion Select
these
shortly.
are things that are out of our control.
Yes, this is true. Fire alarms are out of our control, sadly.
Yeah. Let's hope we don't get one.
Man, that would be fair. Who would entertain you for 20 minutes if we got a fire alarm? We just have to put on Silver Scrapes.
Well, that's familiar. For those of you who don't remember, at the Season 2 World Championships, in the game, various games between CLG, EU, and World Elite, they got DDoSed a few times. So during this 6-hour pause until they realized there was no way it was going to happen again that night, we got partly entertained by Jat and Demon talking to each other, and partly entertained by Silver Scrapes on repeat.
That was not one of my.
This is why. Yes, but this is why. Anytime.
If you talk to a League player who has been following the scene for a long time, they will have very strong feelings for Silver Scrapes. That is definitely one way to put it.
Yeah. I
think that's the best way to put it.
Well, I would say we grew to love it.
Seriously, guys, like that is literally all we heard through the entirety of Season 2 Worlds. Silver Scrapes. Oh, man.
Great song. Check it out if you haven't heard it.
We've literally played like 20 minutes of it. And it's only like 2 minutes long. Oh, man.
So, anyways, I think it looks like
we're working on getting back into the game.
Yeah, looks like.
Yeah, we will be starting Champion Select very shortly.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed. I kind of wanted to talk to you about how you could build up minion waves of hundreds with a Mumu and crash them into each other at the same time, and also about interesting things about Zigzalt and how many minions it can hit at once. But I guess that's for another time.
Oh well. And yeah, as people are saying in Twitch chat, Silver Scrapes, the greatest song ever.
Yes, Twitch chat on point for once. Silver Scrapes, the legend.
Yeah.
And it looks like we are just about ready to get into Champ Select. So, with that, give it a few seconds, guys.
Yeah. We will, as a reminder, we will have the exact same bands and picks up to the point we were. So that's Singed, Katarina, Sejuani band on one side, Arya, Rek'Sai, Jarvan on the other.
The picks were first pick Aurelia into Skarner and Jinx into a Scion lock, but that is when the game ended.
Yep. So the first band and picks would be.
Let us get back into Champ Select.
Yeah. So that should be pretty quick.
Yeah, these should be identical here.
Yeah. Again, as we mentioned the first time around, Singed and Ahri targeted at the
respective roles.
Yeah, both Marvel's Fertel definitely favoring the Singed
and not Expatriate. Serenity favoring the Ahri.
Yeah, with its 70% win rate in Season 4.
And everybody locking Clairvoyance. Okay.
Somehow I doubt that'll stick.
I like CV. I don't like CV that much, but I do like CV.
Yeah, and that's the Scion lock. I don't think the overlay is still on. I think we're good on that.
Yeah, I took it off. Yeah, okay, cool.
So...
Alright, so we're back to where we were in Champ Select. And...
Let's see. We'll see what Petrify decides to lock in.
Yeah,
here.
they have 22 seconds left on the clock. And, I mean, their team comp really hasn't come together in a way that I would be able to predict a good pick for them.
Yeah, I wonder
but I don't know. These
does seem to favor Ezreal and Sivir. I wonder if he'll know a Caitlyn here. Interesting. 4 games on Caitlyn in Season 5 so far, with mixed results so far. We'll see how this works. Caitlyn...
Well, Caitlyn being...
probably will be fine in lane, at least against the Jinx.
Yeah, Caitlyn being known... well, Jinx being known as a champion that can at least go toe-to-toe with Caitlyn. Ooh, the Anivia does get locked in instantly, also with Clairvoyance. Oh, there's the Gnar pick that we wanted to see.
I'm very happy to see that Gnar. Now, Irelia does have a okay lane against Gnar.
Yes.
Will be able to deal with that early. However, Gnar with a humongous team fighting presence, he can definitely a champion, as I've said a million times, can turn around games.
Ooh, the Janna. I would love to see the Janna come in as a pick against the Gnar. And the Azir, too. These would be very, very powerful picks coming in here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would love
to see this they get locked in for Final 5.0. Those now, very, very good against Gnar. And Skarner, actually.
Oh, yeah. Now, very interesting to see how this Azir works out. Xserenity, not a big Azir player in solo queue. Wonder if it will be him or maybe he'll be swapping with someone. I don't know.
And then Nami getting locked in here. Okay, so we got the Caitlyn Janna versus the Jinx Nami bot lane. One of these definitely a lot more aggressive than the other.
Yeah, I do think this is Nami would be not bad. Nami with Jinx. Jinx not auto-attacking champion. Going to enjoy having that High blessing on. Plus, you get the sustain in the lane.
Yeah, and man, extra tricky coming off a great Jinx game. So we'll see how that impacts his play this game. But I am so looking forward to seeing good things coming out from him. Yeah. And we actually see Marl Chartel switching to jungle. Is this?
Yeah, it looks like it. Interesting. So
that would be interesting.
Role swap there.
It's possible that he just doesn't play Gnar and he'd feel more comfortable in the jungle and Bioblue playing Gnar.
Yeah, it's definitely possible they were prioritizing that Gnar. And yeah, he does have a Skarner game. He actually did play Skarner in the group stages, I think.
Interesting.
Or actually, no, in the quarterfinals, sorry. 2 pretty good success, actually. 5-2 and 15. In that game, Bioblue did play that Gnar, actually.
Okay. So, the thing we have to watch out for, which, I mean, none of you will miss it if it happens, because it's hilarious. If Marl Chartel does manage to grab someone before the Janna disengage comes in, that person will be blown all the way into the enemy team. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Watch out for that one, guys. You'll know when it happens. Just trust me, you'll know when it happens.
So looking at these team comps for a second, it looks like we have the makings of maybe a split push and sieging comp from Final 5.0. The Caitlyn and Azir,
great siegers,
especially
great
with that
control.
Janna shield on top of the Caitlyn, will take down turrets pretty quickly.
And the other thing is that
Aurelia, great splish push.
With the tank line and Aurelia Scion, I mean, Aurelia can go into Blade Surge, but Scion, dude, Scion goes ham. Like, Scion goes really ham. So if they get tired of sieging the turret, they could just be like, all right, whatever. We're just going to YOLO our way through this turret and just ult in with Scion.
We will have to see how the Scion engages work out. Scion engages are really strong if you can land them. However, they're not the easiest thing to actually set up. You have to...
I'm glad you said that, actually, because that brings me to my other point. Even if the Scion engage is not on target, that sets up zoning tools for Xserenity to use with his Sand Soldiers. So even a missed Scion ult can be turned into a potential opportunity for Final 5.0. And that is what I am excited to see about this composition.
Now, they will have to be very well coordinated, though, because the Janna Monsoon can also screw that whole thing up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And if Marl Chartel does manage to get the right grab, that is lights out for Azir or Caitlyn,
if he can get onto the Azir or the Caitlyn, that will pretty much win the team fight. This is... I guess Aurelia is also a bit of a threat. However, Caitlyn and Azir, especially come the late game, will be the big threats, doing a lot of damage. If they can
Yeah.
take out one, that will be huge for their team.
And again, we will be very, very excited to see how Extra Tricky does on this Jinx, because he had an incredible performance with it last game.
Yeah.
While we're at it, actually, let's talk about Clambassadors' team composition a bit. What do you think about their tank line in particular with the Gnar Skarner combo?
It's going to be really tough to get through that tank line.
Yeah.
Gnar especially is a huge force to be reckoned with, especially in his mega form. In team fights, I am a little concerned unless Final 5.0 gets the perfect engage or have already snowballed tremendously. I really have to give the teamfight edge to Clambassadors because they do have a huge tank line. Granted, Sion can also become extremely tanky, but in the jungle he will have somewhat less income. So
Yeah.
it will take a lot longer, and I don't think he'll ever be in a state where he's unkillable like we sometimes see in professional games when he's in the top lane.
Right. This is interesting, actually, because it is actually hard for me to tell who has the better straight at 5v5 composition, because Azir and Caitlyn, very, very good 5v5 champions. Janna, a very, very good 5v5 champion. Sion, also a very good 5v5 champion. And the thing is, it all depends on how well Final 5 can kite.
And also how they can play around the Gnar.
Yes, the Gnar cooldowns and the flash timings will be very, very important coming into this game.
If Gnar has a weakness, I would say it is that when he's not in Mega Gnar form, especially if he just transformed out of Mega Gnar form, it takes him a little while to get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, Gnar was balanced around that weakness.
Right, exactly. And the thing is his team fighting is exceptional in Mega Gnar. Like, probably one of the best team fighters in the game, if not the best. But in Mini Gnar, he's not that good, unless he's really, really far ahead. So a lot will come down to how they play around the Gnar. On both sides, actually. How well Biowar manages to execute on his Gnar.
Yeah. And honestly, like, in the short time that Gnar's been allowed on the Rift, we've seen this time and time again in competitive play where one team does not play around the Gnar well enough and has the ultimate timeout right before they're about to get into an important fight, or the other team just not respecting the ultimate fully and engaging a fight right as the transform happens. And both of these situations happen a lot, and both of these situations are potential game changers. So yeah, we're gonna have to watch out for that one. And all right, let's take a look at the starting builds. Very standard across the board, actually. Interestingly, H-Roll picking up an extra mana potion over the health pot. I like this. Typically, I like this on supports with a sustain mechanic because that mana potion does convert directly into health. So on things like Alistar, for example, people have actually done the math, and it is more efficient for both you and your AD carries if you buy mana potions instead of health potions, which is very, very cool, by the way.
Yeah. So far, mostly defensive wards just along the river, especially for Clambassadors, just rivers and both of those death brushes.
Final 5 not even warding up the river, they are just guarding their own jungle entrances.
Yeah, just
they got a little hole here though.
No, they have a ward in that brush.
They do. They do. I'm sorry.
You can't see it on the mini map, but But they do have vision of every jungle entrance into their jungle at least, so they will be safe.
All jungle entrances are watched for both sides.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, there's actually no, they'd have to go by the Gnar.
Yeah,
I was gonna say there's kind of a way into the
but not really.
But they will see it because they have Biowar sitting in that brush.
But we're not going to see any really aggressive plays coming out here.
Tempest Life's actually going to start with his red buff, and he's going to get a little bit of help from his bot lane.
I wonder if Marl Chartel's going to go for the smite trick again. It doesn't look like it, though. He's right next to that Gromp.
I guess, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and take that Gromp. And both bot lanes giving their respective junglers a little bit of help. So
that's a lot of help.
Neither bot lane really going to get an advantage because the other one is missing.
But dude, man, that smite trick, that is exactly the kind of thing I love seeing people come up with.
That was really neat to see, because that gave the bot lane the experience, but also gave him that really valuable Krugs buff. Yeah, literally could not have been more optimal. I love that play so much. It looks like Extra Tricky and H-Roll are going to get the lane advantage. I think what happened, Potential 5 and ML Sense actually missed a minion but Extra Tricky and H-Roll
Yeah,
didn't.
you're right. They
so
must have. Just based on the
just wait
experience
for them
numbers.
to get 3 more of these and they can keep zoning right now, actually.
Yeah,
And they
Nami's
will
level
get
2.
that first level 2, I think.
Nami Jinx has actually a surprisingly good level 2. For 2 champions you would not expect to traditionally have incredible level 2s. Bubble plus Flame Chompers is a devastating
Yeah,
combination.
we'll have to see if H-Roll...
Oh my god, the double
Oh.
bubble! Potential 5 gonna get burned low really fast.
Forced to burn that heal, too. Nicely played there.
Yeah, Health Potion and Heal both burn. Oh man, that bubble from H-Roll, absolutely amazing. And we're gonna see BioPuvar push a little bit in the top lane. This is not very surprising. Gnar not gonna have a hard time pushing against the Rally. Not quite able to proc Hyper.
Yeah, I don't think I expect to see quite as much top lane brawling or kills or anything. Tempest like going for an invade. He is full health. Marl Chartel is going to have to back right out of this jungle. Yeah.
Gets the slow off. Oh,
Tempest
smites the entire camp away from him.
Nice invade there.
Yeah, that's rough.
He didn't even have a...
No, he doesn't
No,
have
he had a ward on the red buff, and so
oh yeah, okay.
I think he just placed that. Never mind. But he must have just known. Somehow he guessed that Marl Chartel would start with a blue. Oh, that's Tempest like going for a gank, but nice double jump by BioPuvar to get.
Maybe not exactly the angle he wanted, but it is going to get him a bit of distance. He will probably, yeah, he can get out.
He's going to get out of this. Didn't have to burn the flash. A little bit of pressure for not Dave, but otherwise nothing big game.
Yeah,
I was going to say about that jungle invade. Good job just guessing that Marl Chartel would start with that blue buff.
Yeah.
Knowing the timing and just knowing exactly when he would be at those rates, and because he's Skarner, he doesn't have the sustain, so he's going to be a little low. Extra Tricky actually taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen if you don't trade back in Fishbone's form. You are going to get poked out a little bit, so he has to burn that health potion too. But nothing too major going on in bot lane. The heal disadvantage might be important coming on later into the game. And I also actually wanted to touch on Sion's shield real quick. If you look at Sion, he hasn't used his other potion. This gives a very interesting insight into how Riot balances their champions. As we see BioPuvar going extremely low, he's probably just going to wait for that Mega Gnar to gain a little bit of his health back. Or he could do the safe play and recall. That works too.
Yeah, I think that's smart. He does have his TP if he wants to get back to lane to catch that wave.
Yeah, so the thing is about Skarner is his shield is balanced around having a long duration, a movement speed buff attached, and that is compensated by having a very high cooldown. Okay, BioPuvar teleports into lane with half health.
Clicked, I think. Picked up the flask, sold it immediately back.
That's awkward.
Yeah, I think that was a slight misplay, but at least he will catch that wave. Yeah. And he can probably... He's not actually getting a lot of those.
He can get some of the CS. The experience is way more important at this point.
That's true, but he does miss pretty much all of that wave.
Yeah, and that's gonna put him at a substantial CS disadvantage for this early into the game.
And
but
also
we will see.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, we'll see how he does. 2 Doran's Blaze versus 1.
Yeah.
Not the biggest deal in the world, but also not something
ML Sense went very low. Looks like Marl Chartel came in for a gank. They did get the flash off of ML Sense, and he's going to place a ward in the try to be safe.
Honestly, with Skarner, you don't have any ranged engage, so he's going to be pretty safe from that. At least until Skarner hits 6.
Skarner, nice ward there.
Yeah, good warding.
Spotting out ML Sense there. ML Sense going to have to be a bit careful in this lane. He doesn't have his flash up. And potential 5 heal still about halfway through its cooldown.
Okay.
And at the cost of no summoners for Clambassadors.
Yeah, so Clambassadors having the summoner advantage. We've taken a
advantage.
lot of minion damage there. Nice net away from the Aqua Prison. That was key.
Good net, but he still took the full damage from Zap and several autos.
Yeah.
And all the damage he did back was sustained immediately by H-Roll, who got the nice blow there. And Tempest looking for a gank here. He is coming. They have
They don't have vision of this. He might actually just get the Chilling Smite down. Flame Chompers are not actually going to connect, and he gets the slow from the Q. That is a very big heal coming in from H-Roll, though, using both the Ebb and Flow and the Summoner. And they're going to turn a little bit of damage around onto Potential 5. Nothing too decisive here, though.
ML Sense and Potential 5 couldn't commit too hard because they were quite low as it was and had low mana.
The turn potential is very strong.
Great job by Tempest Life zoning them and getting a lot of Summoners down. That's
BioPuvar going to try to bait not Dave into this, but Marl Chartel doesn't actually have his ultimate. BioPuvar might go down if he can't kite this well enough.
But he's going to be
he's going to run circles around not Dave, and he should get that with a Hyper Proc. BioPuvar Going
Nice
first
kite.
blood on Narm. Good kiting mechanics. Good kiting mechanics
was-
there.
Excellently kited out.
Yeah.
Just that's where you see the damage and power of Hyper. It gives you a huge move speed buff when you proc it.
Ooh, they might end up overstaying here. If they don't back immediately.
Yeah, this is a good time to back though. They pushed into the turret, and now Extra Tricky going to pick up this wave. I would zap into.
I
that
would
brush
interrupt.
if
I would try
I mean,
my hardest to interrupt that recall. That would have been
But
huge.
they didn't have vision though, so they didn't actually know they were recalling there.
I mean, zap costs like 50 mana.
Yeah, I would have zapped into.
I would have zapped into that.
but-
That would have been enormous. It would have either forced him to miss more golden experience, or if he chooses to stay in lane, he stays in lane with a substantial health and item disadvantage. So
Yeah.
either way, that is definitely worth for Extra Tricky.
So both
But-
AD carries with the BF sword.
Yeah.
Some sustain actually also onto potential 5.
Yeah, not a
But-
major misstep coming in, but
But Extra
Would help.
Tricky and April have a bunch of extra minions. They should have the sustain advantage, or not sustain, the level advantage actually.
yeah.
They will probably get the first level 6. Now this isn't as key.
Oh, actually,
as when it was
potential 5 gonna hit 6 first here
Oh, never
actually
mind.
because ML. Well,
Oh,
the thing
'cause
is,
he's
ML
gotten a
Sense
lot
has
of
been
solo.
off to the side.
That's true. He's got a
Warding?
fair amount of solo.
So, okay.
Extra Tricky also getting that.
Both
level
AD
6.
carries gonna hit 6 approximately at the same time.
Nice farming from Extra Tricky with actually a 15 CS lead.
Yeah, we don't see that against Caitlyn very often, and this is almost entirely because Jinx has access to both a short range and a long range farming tool.
Also, nice job clearing out that pink ward.
Nice
That's just Emerson's just placed that, so that's a lot of gold that he's just losing there.
Yeah, exactly. And good job by BioFubar defending this pink. He knows he has a range advantage over Not Dave, and that he's
Yeah.
almost Mega, so if he just...
Yeah, not Dave.
Oh, Sion ulting up bot lane, though, actually gets the stun on Notricky. Notricky gonna get knocked up, and this is not going to be enough to save him. Potential 5 picking up the kill. I don't know how much he could have done about that. And X Serenity gonna come on backside with the soldiers going on to H-Roll, and Tempest Life gonna pick up that kill. 2 for 0 in the bottom lane.
That's what we were talking about with that lane gank from the Scion. Come straight
Yeah.
off the lane, not even bothering with... You don't
Yeah.
want to come from the jungle because you don't get the angle.
Yep,
but a
that was-
beautiful gank.
That was a
And
perfect Scion gank. So what you see here is
they're gonna
a
get the dragon
Yep,
too.
4-man pile-up, rotation onto the bottom lane, and then straight to the dragon. They are going to pick up this objective unless Maro Shartau can contest it. Doesn't look like he wants to. I would not if I were him.
Excellent gank and
Yes.
very little that they could have done because there's no way you can ward against that.
Yes, very, very good. That was played extremely well. Personally, I enjoy Fresh against Scion because you can
The
just get out.
lantern.
Yeah, you can just lantern your AD carry out. But ooh, not Dave gonna find the solo kill onto
Nicely
BioFubar.
played.
Aurelia is all about the chip damage, really. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have any ability that nukes for a particularly large amount of damage, so you need to make use of every little bit of damage you have. And
Yeah.
you just see Not Dave on the tail end of that doing that perfectly.
Yeah.
H-Roll gonna come around the backside.
Not Dave really favoring that double Doran skill, which
Yeah,
gives him a
he
lot of
likes
early
it.
combat stats.
I used to really like the Orange Blade on Aurelia as well.
Uh,
People told me it was bad, so I stopped building it, but I guess I shouldn't have listened.
Marl Chartel looking for the gank.
He is
here.
level 7.
Yeah, he does
Oh,
have
the
level
Janna
6.
ult burned a
Nice.
little early, I think. He's gonna get ulted back. Oh no, nice knockup, but that's not gonna help him.
That's-
Nope.
Great bubble. He didn't actually even need to use the Skarner ultimate. Just
He actually activated it, but Sense died before the animation finished, so the cooldown was actually not started.
Yep.
Very interesting quirk of
Potential
League's
5
game
taking
engine.
a
Yeah,
lot of poke
I
here.
mean,
Has to be
he's
careful.
without a support. He has to be careful. He might actually get over because Mara Chartel still has his ult up.
Yeah, well, he has the ward, so he will back off. And
Yeah.
it looks like Tempest Life is there for the counter gank if necessary.
Yeah, that's true.
You can see him setting
Oh,
up. It looks
actually,
like he's actually
he
gonna ult in. He's not gonna
is-
find
no,
anything
this is not
because
a
Extra
ult.
Tricky went around the corner.
It's okay. We'll call that Rek'Sai Jr.
Yeah, sure. Just nice. I'm not sure if that was luck
Ooh,
or...
this is dangerous
Oh, that's
for
the-
Final 5.0 though.
Yeah, definitely.
Even
That's-
BioFubar coming down into here. And potential 5 getting grabbed. I don't think that was necessary, but they do pick up the kill. Not Dave TPing down. Gets a kill on H-Roll, and Extra Tricky actually getting an outcome. They're going to turn this one around if BioFubar doesn't do something about it real quick. Oh, just barely missing Tempest Life with Boomerang. BioFubar actually going to get taken down here. Going, has the flash over the wall. Mega probably saves his life from whatever last auto attack was coming his way. But yeah, very, very good turnaround by Final 5 to reactively use the teleport from Not Dave to get a man advantage in the bottom lane.
Not Dave channeled his TP instant that engage
Yes.
started.
Ignite goes down into onto X right again. don't think that was intentional, though.
Yeah, not gonna get that kill. That was actually, at the end of it, a 1-for-1.
But
A lot of summoners burned on both sides, but the pressure advantage, the health bars advantage, did go to Final 5.0, so they get the turret.
yes, exactly. They forced them all back.
Exactly. No dragon to take right now, though, so they won't get anything other than that turret. And Jinx, if they give Jinx some time in that lane, she's going to pick up that other turret really quickly, because that's what Jinx
that's
does.
true. This is the thing. A lot of people, when they play AD carry and they pick up the enemy turret, they just kind of like rotate to mid lane and leave the lane alone, which by itself is not a bad thing. But you have to remember to take care of your bot every once in a while, especially when the champion pushing against Jinx.
Jinx also going slightly aggressive here.
Trying to go in, but not going to find an angle with the Azir dash.
Yeah, it's hard to get down to the Azir sometimes,
Azir's
especially
slippery. He will need to commit his flash for these because Azir and Caitlyn both have very strong escape tools.
Yeah.
That said, if he does commit his flash and get out, his team's going to be in a great place.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like a few ward wars, but in the end, we're going to be placed right back there. I was about to say, Jinx actually going for a slightly aggressive, kind of scaling type build, picking up the Avarice Blade. Actually has an Avarice Blade over potential 5. So this is eventually...
That's actually pretty common in high elo, to finish your Avarice Blade before Infinity Edge. I'm not exactly sure how it works out because I have not done the math on it, but people tell me it's supposed to work, so...
It works pretty well. Yeah, I mean, the idea is Avarice Blade is going into static shiv anyways, right?
Yes,
so it's not like you're building something.
Ooh, Marl Shartel not getting the angle he wants, and Scion Ult not gonna do anything.
Yeah, Marl Shartel got out.
Scion Ult from the jungle, not very good, but they do zone them away from the turret, actually, letting Azir just poke it down with his W. And X-Serenity getting grabbed, but can they do anything about it? They don't have the damage, and Nivea getting zoned by Tempest Life. Rocket just barely going wide. Yeah, this siege is all in Final 5.0's favor.
Final 5.0 playing out their team comp really well right now. Just as soon as they got that turret in bot lane, they rotated Caitlyn and Janna up to the mid and picked up that turret, and there was very little that could be done to prevent it.
So despite a smaller lead for Clambassadors, Final 5.0 is actually caught up.
Yeah, and they actually have a nice 2k gold lead with those 2 turrets right now.
And the dragon, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Biokuvar might actually get dope here.
Yeah, he's not that close to the Mega Evolve. Tempest Light also.
Okay, he's just gonna go with that turret. Yeah, that's.
And now that's
no, don't turn back! Don't turn back!
Okay, right back up into the top lane now, and picking up that turret. 3 turrets to none right now.
Yeah.
And Jinx not really pushing that lane very hard right now.
He has to stop freezing right about now because there's literally no one in the bot lane.
Granted, and that's the red buff steal too. He does have the knowledge though that everyone is in that top lane, so he can free push.
I think he should be using rockets. He should be using rockets for this.
Also, that's the last of the easy objectives for Final 5.0. After this, it's the inner turrets, and they're somewhat more difficult to kill.
Yeah, so if they cannot manage to get the snowball going at this point, they're going to have a little bit of harder time scaling into the mid-game.
And Extra Tricky has been free farming for the last couple of minutes, which is really good, and that is a 40 CS lead.
He's not actually going to work in the turret because he knows the timings of the recalls. He knows that Tempest is going to come here to catch the wave and potentially murder him brutally with someone else, so... Takes the wise choice, backs off, grabs his Infinity Edge. I mean, solid. Very solid.
Yeah, certainly has a nice lead over potential 5 right now. Extra Tricky, if he does start scaling up, which he will probably outscale that Caitlyn, I think.
Jinx, I consider Jinx a hyper carry, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
She can't start 1v5ing by herself, but she is more than capable of actually 1v5ing. Atrial having to burn the ult to get away. Potential 5 getting so caught though, blown up instantly. And that Emperor's Divide is just gonna scatter the team of Clambassadors, forcing the disengage, but they don't disengage in time, it seems like. X-Serenity going very low in the backline, Tempest also going low. Extra Tricky going to get that reset, and can they finish the kill on ML Sense? Yes, they definitely can. And meanwhile, Atrial, just barely kiting the Scion passive.
And that's a dragon for them. That was a great catch. That was the bubble landing onto the Caitlyn, followed up by Marl Shartel, just locking him up with that
Yep, right into Anivia's double damage frostbite. Now, the thing that was really confusing is that Emperor's Divide here and Anivia's wall were almost in exactly the same place. So, while Clambassadors did get zoned, Final 5.0 couldn't make any plays over that wall either. So, I think what just happened is that in the end, both teams just sat there kind of confused, not really knowing what was going on. And honestly speaking, Final 5.0 should have disengaged in that situation.
Yes, definitely. The choke is not where they want to fight. Yes, Azir has nice zone control, but I guarantee you, the Nivea will do so much damage with her ultimate in those chokes, so much more than Azir, because
Yeah.
it's much easier to walk away from the Sand Soldiers than from that glacial.
Their health bars were low enough to begin with, anyways.
Exactly, and then and it started out with a perfect catch.
Yeah, they
Neutral
really
got cut out, but perfect CC right afterwards, just to set up that whole fight.
I think it was just a little bit of confusion on both sides because
and just,
both teams not really understanding why they're not going in or out of the fight, just kind of standing there. It happens, guys. Like, you might laugh at them, but come on, I bet this stuff happens to you all the time.
Yeah.
So like,
and just overcommitment by Final 5.0, and nice job chasing down those kills afterwards.
Yeah,
by
they did lose their gold lead, but it's fine. They're not in a massive hole yet. Like, this game could still swing either way. Getting that Sun Disc up is actually very good.
So it will feed a little bit of extra gold.
Well, the thing about the Sun Disc is that it feeds approximately as much gold as you expect to gain from it from, first of all, the minions it kills directly, and second of all, map pressure.
That's true.
So the thing is that they have to commit.
You don't want to solo.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
It is a turret.
The thing is that they have to commit time killing it, time that could be spent, for example, here.
Yeah,
and that is the actual power of Sun Disc. It's not strong because turrets do like a massive amount of damage. It's strong because it forces your team into places that they don't really want to go, or else risk unfavorably pushing lanes across the map.
That's true. However, the gold lead has swung back in favor of Clambassadors. Nice wall there. Tempest Life going out to Marl Chartel.
Tempest Life not finding the ult he wants, but Marl Chartel also going extremely low. Pops that shield, actually gets away, but can he? No, not Dave with the flash auto for the kill. But the rest of Clambassadors looks like they just have to disengage. H-Roll eating the ace in the hole for his ally.
A lot of flashing health bars, actually on both
sides. The important thing here, the Azir health bar is full and the Jinx health bar is full, so they have approximately equal parts siege and wave clear. So it really, the flame chopper's barely missing. Extra Rookie getting poked down really hard though. He cannot afford to keep eating that poke.
Oh, but the zap, nice.
The zap hits. Emperor's Divide is still up though, so if he really wants to reset this fight, he can get out. He should be able to get out. Potential
Good
5.
defense though. They did defend their turret and got
there
the
we go. There we go.
And importantly, in that 1-for-1, a kill going over to the Jinx. And Extra Tricky will definitely outscale the Caitlyn. Caitlyn does scale well, but Jinx, a hyper carry who just outscales.
Yeah, Jinx, I mean, if you leave Jinx unchecked and she finds the right positioning, her DPS is
and she's
greater than any other AD carry, including Tristana, maybe even including Kog'Maw, honestly, because she actually has scaling abilities, unlike both of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, yes, she's immobile in that she doesn't have any dash abilities. However, the instant that she gets a kill or assist, she has that huge move speed boost, which makes her incredibly hard to lock down.
The other thing is that she is very good in siege situations because the passive does proc off of turret assists. So if you can poke someone down and get a turret assist at the same time, you can just start running through their team, like literally running through their team, which is always a lot of fun to watch. But we will see. Extra Tricky doing very well this game, honestly. Obviously not putting out as impressive a scoreline as he was before, but 3-1 and 3, 163 CS, 60 CS ahead, very solid. Marl Chartel taking a little bit of damage here.
Nice bubble on the potential 5.
Good bubble, good bubble.
I would Marl Chartel does need to be careful. He's safe now.
I would like to see him build some health after the Iceborne Gauntlet. Just to maximize both his overall tankiness and the efficiency of his build, basically.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he builds now. He does get the Warrior enchantment though, which is an interesting choice. I don't know.
An aggressive build. No, Cyan, not Cyan. Skarner does scale with AD.
He does.
And move speed too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I actually like this build so far.
Okay.
I just want to see him. I want to see.
Not Bio going to find the fight with Bio Pouvoir.
Bio Pouvoir gonna probably have to back off, but he will be okay.
Yeah, Not Dave just. Well, the thing about Not Dave is that his ultimate and his W give him more sustain in the scenario. So even if they manage to trade evenly in the fight, as you see they did, the health bar discrepancy will grow because Not Dave will increase and Bio Pouvoir's will decrease. So that happens, but
Yeah. So with this build, the Skarner will be dealing out a fair amount of persistent damage,
Yeah,
more
that's
than
true.
is expected. He should go tanky after this, and
looks like he's going for the Randuins.
Yeah, and I think that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Everyone who does damage on the other enemy team will be affected by that Randuins. Even Serenity, who
That's true.
scales off a lot
Well,
off of
I don't
attack
know. Wait,
speed.
do soldier auto attacks actually trigger the Randuin's debuff? I don't have any idea.
I actually don't know. If I had to guess, they do, but I wouldn't know.
Yeah, and again, actually, this is one scenario where I would have loved to see the
Oh,
frozen card come out. But we'll come back to that later.
Potential
Potential
5
5 gets caught and blown up immediately by the Jinx.
Great
Miles tells us
catch.
with a smite to chase. And honestly, they could keep chasing, but they could just as easily posture for Dragon. Like, this...
Yeah, this is a 4v4 right now. The 5-4 are roaming down. Great catch.
Yeah, this is all in Clambassadors' favor right now. They have the edge, and right now this is their objective to lose.
You know, we were questioning the Skarner pick, but so far, definitely acquitted himself, and that's another. That's a how many dragons is that? Is that a?
That's two dragons. 3 dragons in the game. One for Final 5 and 2 for Clambassadors. And
yeah,
Adam 019 Skarner. You cannot say he's not been putting his work. 100% kill participation.
Absolutely. Mario Sartell has had a fantastic game, and
yes,
he has been finding the perfect picks onto potential 5, which just sets up those team fights. I mean, yes, Aurelia does a lot of damage, is a threat, but it's hard for her to do damage if you're already losing the fight. In the sense of
exactly.
If you can peel off the Aurelia, she won't be very effective. If you have the resources ready, and when you get a pick, you will always have the resources to deal with that Aurelia.
Yeah.
That's a Mejai's onto
interesting. Frogging
Expatriate. Expatriate actually also built one last game that we didn't comment on it, but we'll see how it goes. So far, no deaths to his name, so far paying off. He only has the 6 stacks, but
we will see how it goes. Something I did want to touch on really quickly. I would have liked to see Marl Chartel get a Frozen Heart this game because look at the threats
I agree.
On Final 5.0. So they are running a pretty typical 3-threat team, right? Azir, Aurelia, Caitlyn. What do all of these champions have in common? Attack speed. Especially Azir with I think one of the lowest base attack speed numbers in the game would be enormously affected by Frozen Heart's flat 20% debuff.
Yes, I think Frozen Heart would be a great item. He actually could be building into it. However, he does kind of... I would like to see him build some health.
The mana would be cool, but I would like to see him do something to not get crushed by Serenity. Especially because Serenity opted for that second item Void Staff that I personally think is very cool. But,
yes, I'm sure you're a big fan.
You know what? You've convinced me that Void Staff Rush is bad, but I still find in my heart that second item Void Staff is legit. As we see Biopufor taking down the top turret, uncontested, because everyone's just sieging up the mid lane.
Yeah.
Looks like they're gonna rotate over though.
Oh,
by the way, the turret counter not accurate because this 5 includes a Azir Sundisk. So
so they've taken down 2 of those, so actually only 3 turrets. Okay.
Yeah, so this was a noted bug in an LCS game. I forget which game it was, where one team took down 14 turrets.
Not an LCS, it was Korea.
Oh, it was Korea.
Oh, that's Tempest Life going for the invasion.
Tempest Life going in. Aatrox gets taken out instantly. Not a very good use of Emperor's Divide though, and not Dave gonna try to find an angle. Gets grabbed by Marl Chartel. That's suppression is not going to get cleansed by Aurelia's passive. And extra tricky on the sidelines. This is what Jinx does best, guys. Jinx on the sidelines, throwing out those rockets, doing damage. Can he get the kill? Nate flashes away after the stun ends, actually. Oh, he eats the Piltover Peacemaker and goes down. Expatriate manages to take down the Azir, so he does manage to avoid dying to the Sand Soldiers, but can he defend this push now coming in? These 3 health bars all extremely low after the chaotic fight. And he will manage to defend, it looks like, with the help of H-Roll. I guess that's what happens when you die first.
In that fight, Extra Tricky actually got some time to himself, but then he took a lot of damage. Not Dave jumped on him.
Yeah.
And in particular, got his stun down. That's
Not
Dave going on to Expatriate, going to pop
Good
that
play
egg.
by Not Dave. The egg is up, but no, they're going to burn it down. Yeah. Good play. Guys, this is the kind of thing you want to do. Is look for minions that are low and use them as jumping points to your target. That is one important way Aurelia goes in. If you can't find the opportunity, feel free to use your ult to create one. It doesn't do that much damage anyways.
Yeah. No, that was a great team fight. The key thing, they got the pick onto Nami at the beginning. They committed a little bit to it. However, it was enough that Aatroll did not get to use any of his abilities, which
Yes.
would have made a big difference in that fight. You saw how low all 3 members
Yeah.
from Final 5.0 were at the end of that.
Honestly, like, even an extra tidal wave would probably have put out enough damage for, like, a static shiv proc from extra Tree to have gotten a triple kill or something ridiculous like that. But he just died so fast.
Yeah. That being said, gold lead's still small gold lead for
Yeah.
Clambassadors
I mean,
and
this is the most even game we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I think the teams are starting
It could still
to
go both ways, for sure.
the teams are starting to adapt to each other a little bit, but overall, this has been a pretty cool game. I would like to see a locket coming in from both teams, actually, because the potential, even though both teams are comparatively AD heavier, the potential magic damage that you could be taking is extremely high compared to the potential AD damage you could be taking, typically. So a locket would be a good pickup here.
Yes. And glad to see Marl Chartel also with a giant spell.
Yeah, okay. So he is building into that randomness. I really hope he picks up the Spirit Visit or the Banshee's Veil afterwards.
Unless you have some health, armor does really have diminishing returns at a certain point.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have diminishing returns. It has diminished cost effectiveness.
Yeah.
Which is not quite the same thing, but similar enough concept. Oh, wow. Not a beasting into Not Tricky. Not Tricky getting exhausted, so those resists getting shredded, attack speeds getting shredded. Not going to get out of that one. Ooh, that's scrying.
Again, a great catch by Tempest Life on that side.
Yes.
You know, if you think about it, Tempest Life and Marl's Chartel really have the same sort of purpose in this game, which is setting up those single target picks on the priority targets.
Yeah,
extra tricky and potential 5.
I would agree with that.
And a couple of nice picks this time around on the side of Final 5.0, starting to turn this game around.
Yeah.
Again, very even still.
I would say Marl Chartel has the decided advantage in damage and sticking power, but Tempest has a much easier engage, like by far.
If he can get it, yeah. I mean, with both of these, it's if they can get that engage.
If they can, okay, well, if they can get the engage, Garner's is probably going to be better.
Yeah. Extra Tricky is back up. He does actually have a significant item
and
advantage.
we see the power of these soldiers in the Dragon burning a flash, actually. That is huge from the Anivia.
And that's 2 dragons to 2 now.
Oh, Expatriate gonna get caught in the choke point. That is not where you want to be against sand soldiers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, friend.
They should not. See, not to getting grabbed.
Ooh, that's not gonna do very much. Okay, that's a good gnarl to disengage. They need to back off now. Let this turret die. They cannot save this turret. Oh, actually, there's no minion move there, so they can't save this turret.
In the meantime, Extra Tricky just split pushing, getting free farm in the top lane. He has a huge...
He has a 100 CS lead at 30 minutes. That's that's big.
Now, granted, oh no, that's actually not a lot of gold on the Caitlyn right now either to pick up another item. Like, enough for maybe a pickaxe, but...
That sun just went up too early.
Yeah, but that is a turret for them. That is the pressure they got from those kills.
Yeah.
And
the Sundisc could have been used much better. They didn't even need the Sundisc to take the turret or to disengage, which are the 2 primary purposes of Sundisc, right? To cover your flank and to help you feed. And that is literally just free gold for Clambassadors. So that could have been played a little better. Very good play by making the catches this year and rotating for an objective though. After seeing that they could not get the objective in bottom lane, very good call to rotate mid to get the objective that they could get. Yeah.
And again, it's actually only 3 turrets, not 6 turrets right now.
Yeah.
At least when you watch LCS, so they have a scoreboard on the side, right? They don't count the Azir turrets there, even if it still shows up in the spectator client.
I really hope Riot fixes that soon, because that's okay. H-roll with the BM ward chaos.
Yeah, well, he's a support. He deserves the ward kills.
Yeah, I know.
And that.
What happens to cheering for ward kills, guys? I want to hear you guys cheering. Ooh, Biofuvar gonna get caught without Mega. He can't trade back this damage necessarily.
Yeah, but not Dave has to be.
Ooh, Tempest Life coming in the back.
Yeah, he missed his. No, he didn't actually use it.
He didn't use it. That was his shield. They look very similar. He's not going to find the angle if he stands in the middle like that, that's for sure.
Taking a lot.
Biofuvar needs to go back. He has time to go back right now.
Yeah, and he has his teleport up, so it's not like he's going to.
No, Marl Chartel, don't do it. Don't do it. Just back off. You have to recall. Don't die to Azir. There you go. Flame Choppers will do well to disengage against that. Anivia can defend the turret indefinitely. Please get an Hourglass Anivia.
Does have the Seraphs at the very least.
Yeah.
Which will help a bit. Down to only 2 stacks on the mid-drive, sadly.
Sadly. Mid-Rise is always such a fun item, but...
But, I mean, it's even more... They're going to have difficulty sieging this turret. Also.
They are. I mean, we honestly, like, Anivia, not a very common pick in professional play or solo queue, but we're really seeing the power of the Anivia coming out here. Like, game 1, Anivia dragged that game out a really long time. And guys, typically when you are the winning team, you want the game to be as short as possible, because the longer the game goes on, if you can accumulate a lead, great. But the longer the game goes on, the higher chance it is that you will make some sort of major slip-up that will cause you to lose the game. Game 2, Anivia, very crucial. And we see Game 3, Anivia doing exactly the same thing, being very crucial in holding off these sieges that would otherwise probably just plow right through these turrets.
Yeah. So that is the Randuin's complete now onto Marlo's Cartel, and also the components of the last Whisper. That's a full Bloodthirster lead. We've talked about this before on XP. Once he has that last Whisper, assuming he doesn't get caught by Tempest Life, he will be able to shred down Tempest Life. So.
Yeah, he does have his flash.
And, yeah, and hopefully, I'm hoping that afterwards he goes for a Banshee's Veil. I think that'll be the most useful item for him.
Come on, Extra Tricky. Where's your Blink Dagger? Where's your Blink Dagger at, man?
Setting up for the Dragon, except it won't be up for
the best use.
Another 2 minutes. I really think. I feel like.
Actually, they should. Everyone on that team should just get a Blink Dagger.
A what?
A Blink Dagger. Sorry, it's a Dota item that it basically just gives you flash.
Let's see. Looks like Marlo Chartel really out of position right now. He does not want to be going back that way. He's going to get caught. He is going to go down for sure.
Ooh, yeah, that is not the angle he wanted.
Really out of position. He would have been okay, actually, if he had... Oh, my... Oh, just going down.
Barely... Oh, my God! The plays from X3. That was a massive crit, but he's going to get over behind Benante and go down to the Emperor's Divide. Oh, that is not what he wanted to happen.
That was the opposite of what they wanted to do there. That was a great crit onto X-Serenity. The rocket got blocked, and then he stepped a bit too far forward, and Nate jumped straight onto him.
Yeah.
Nice set of catches from Final 5.0. Well played. I'm surprised they're not sticking around for that turret. Dragon still isn't up for a while. They're just not taking any objectives out of that. I really think they should have stuck around and taken that turret. I think they could have. They had a power play there. Yeah, we can see the damage Extra Tricky is doing, but he did step too far forward without support, without any way to peel.
Without a doubt. A little bit too aggressive on that play. Tidal Wave already used team follow-up not close enough behind him for him to have taken that risk.
No, Extra Tricky really needs to be at the backline because he is on an immobile carry.
Yeah, honestly, he needs to focus on getting the reset. That is his primary goal right now.
Yeah.
Doing as much damage as he can and getting the reset. Because if he manages to accomplish both of those goals in a fight, they'll be in a very good place.
Yeah, definitely. Now,
Dragon coming back up. Gonna get caught by this dragon.
He should be okay though because he has his team
to
there's
his team. Yep.
Expatriate accidentally walls him away there. Actually, he's now in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that might have been bad. He has to burn the flash there defensively.
This should be a dragon for Final 5.0. They chunked away the jungler completely. He got a bit caught trying to ward. Nice play by Final 5.0 again. They really turned this game around. They were a little bit behind, and they've started to really make the catches that are getting them back into this game. And that's another time Marl Chartel getting caught out again. Are they going for this Baron? This is very risky.
It is
right on Oregon.
So they definitely know about this.
Oh,
Biokubar
Jinx rocket coming. Looks like there's a Jinx rocket. Marl Chartel looking for this. Might does not have his flash.
Find it actually. He just gets blocked up by that Emperor's fight. But
damage from X-Serenity. Potential 5 gets caught.
5 getting caught, but it won't matter as much if they finish the Baron, that's for sure.
This is still very...
This is a very dangerous Baron, but Extra Tricky...
They do get it with the smite. X-Serenity goes down. That's a shutdown. They're really low. They have to get out of there. And that's a good use of the Frosting Flame there.
Yeah, there we go.
So that is a Baron. Nice play. That was very risky, but they made it work out. Marl Chartel went a little bit too far ahead of his team and just got caught behind the wall and he didn't have his flash up. He had no way of getting to the pit.
Now...
But this is push. They're gonna get this turret for free.
That was such a big risk, though. That Baron.
Yeah, I don't think they should have been there. It did work out, yes.
It did work out, but like, I mean, you all saw how low their health bars got. A little bit of a better fight, like one thing out of step, if that Jinx rocket initially had landed, like that would have been a completely different fight. And I do not think going for the Baron was the right call. Nonetheless, it did work. So. That's where we're at in the game now, but...
Expatriate probably can actually defend against these minions, though.
Yeah, I mean, the melee minions... Oh, yeah. Well, now they're just gonna...
We saw how cautious Final 5.0 played in game 1,
that's true.
Even when they had that Baron buff.
They might try to choke out the game in a similar fashion. However, that's the thing. In the first game, they were up 15,000 gold. In this game, they're up 2,000 gold.
I don't think they can really choke this out. I don't think they can afford to, because that Jinx will continue to scale up, and once she has a defensive item, that will be a really big point.
Exactly. The comeback potential of this game is so much higher than in game 1.
You know, Jinx already has all the damage that she's going to do.
Oh, God, you're right. Jeez.
But the key thing is that defensive item. Oh, not Dave. Going on to Marl Chartel, but Marl Chartel just fights away the red buff, and actually going back on to not Dave. I don't think either of them is going to get much there.
Clambassadors just need more wards.
Extra tricky.
Honestly, like, everyone in Clambassadors needs to buy like 20 wards. Like, forget that Ruby Crystal, 180 health, not going to do much for you at this point in the game. Just buy wards. Buy wards, place wards. I don't care where you place... Okay, that's not true. Place them outside of your base in different places, and you will... be all set. Like, literally, that is all they have to do right now. Like,
extra tricky getting he needs the support of his team.
And wards?
And
wards have I mentioned wards yet, Adam?
Wards are really good. You should buy them, guys.
Yeah.
Tempest, like, getting chunked really low as well.
Those Azir soldiers do so much damage. So we keep talking about the Jinx scaling, but we've been neglecting to mention all of the sustained damage and poke that's coming out from Azir, actually. Which is really easy to forget about because the soldiers are not always the most obvious thing set against Summoner's Rift. Or set against the Summoner's Rift visuals, but like, man, do they hurt.
That turret should be going down now. I don't think it's worth defending. They should honestly just fall back. I don't know that Final 5.0 will be able to crack this in hit line.
Yeah. The melee minions are very tanky, but they do have Anivia, and as long as Expatriate does not walk in the middle of... Marl Chartel's gonna get thrown backwards.
Yeah, he's going down.
He's going down.
Nice.
That might be bad, but honestly, he doesn't contribute that much to his team siege breaking, so this is not fatal at all.
I think ML Sense and Tempest Life especially, their main tank are a bit too low to actually go for a dive here.
Yeah, this is true. So and their Baron buffs run out is the other thing. So they will not get the buffed melee minions anymore. I think what we need to see at this... Ooh, Tempest Life gonna...
that rocket intercepts him mid-ultimate. Tempest Life just...
What, you can burn 2 Caitlyn traps at once? That was cool. Okay.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah,
nice catch
I didn't know that either. Yeah, good catch.
Well played. That broke the siege, and that was what they needed.
I mean, Baron ran out at the same time.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was also the timing window they needed.
Yeah. Okay, Marl Chartel, Aegis, excellent pickup. Please grab an extra Megatron Cloak at some point in this process.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be a GA for extra tricky.
Like, honestly, so what I would like to see Clambassadors do at this point to swing the lead back in their favor, they have yet to make a really good play with the Gnar.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is what we need to see. Because if they make a good play with the Gnar, either ulting the front line into a wall or ulting the back line into a wall. Obviously, ulting the back line into a wall has its advantages. But if you ult the front line away, Skarner is free to go into the back line, grab whoever he wants back into the team. So I think we need to see them ward up their flanks, ward defensively, play smart, and make use of that Gnar.
And you can create your own terrain with Anivia, then you can Gnarl into that wall.
Yeah, exactly. So
looks like there's gonna be a dragon fight here. Everyone's
5
setting
seconds.
up.
Marl Chartel, no! Don't do it! Don't face check! There we go. Very good.
Gets a little bit chunked, but he should still
That's
be...
fine. These stand soldiers are gonna start being a massive threat, though.
I mean, they are a massive threat as it is.
Yeah, they
He
are.
has 4 items. That's the Hourglass, Void Staff, Morello's. That ult gets stopped by the
Oh
Anivia
no,
wall.
Tempest Life! That is so sad.
And that's nice smite by Tempest Life. Gets
Yes.
that.
Gets the dragon, but Maro Shortel pulls Not Dave. Not Dave is extremely strong right now, but H-Roll stepping into
yeah, but that's the reset.
wall. But yeah, I mean, that's the reset. All of Final 5.0's health bars. Well, half of them.
potential.
Oh, misses the Wallop. Can he land the boulders? Oh, he flashes the boulder. Wow, that was actually a really good flash.
Nice job forcing the flash. Potential 5. That is actually a big cooldown for Potential 5 against a Skarner, for instance.
Yes, that is. So if you look at the items, so you might see that Potential 5 has 6 items, but one of them is a Doran's Blade. And one of them is the QSS, which means his DPS is way lower than the Jinx's, which means he needs to play way more aggressively than the Jinx needs to in order to put out the same amount of teamfight damage, which means that flash going down is going to be very big.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh wow, Azir's shredding those wolves. Jeez.
Yeah, Azir is huge. We haven't really talked about it much, but he's now 7, 3, and 7, 4 items, 5 items.
I really hope that Needless on Anivia goes into an Hourglass.
Yeah, an Hourglass would be really good, though I wouldn't be surprised to see a Death Cap here. I don't know, we'll see. He does actually have a fair amount of AP, and Anivia doesn't really need that much AP to do a lot of damage, and has tremendous utility as well with the Glacial Storm for the slow field.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Plus the
Anivia's
wall.
utility is unparalleled, and actually, with the stacked Rod of Ages, he does have 516 AP, which is a lot more than I thought he would have. Mostly because I always underestimate how much AP Seraphs gives you.
Right.
So, okay, that's not actually that bad coming into this point of the game, especially considering how tanky he is, but please build an Hourglass.
Hourglass would be very good here. Hourglass would help deal with a lot of the engage from Final 5.
Yes. Also, you can screw up your positioning slightly against the Azir soldiers and not get completely demolished if you have Hourglass, so that is definitely another selling point of it. Especially going into the late game, those soldiers are gonna start hurting.
Yeah.
Ooh, is he gonna pick up a Spirit Visage or something with that red crystal? I would love to see him max out on his CDR. That would be cool.
Who, the Gnar?
No, the Azir.
Oh. Huh.
That'd be interesting.
I'm guessing it's going towards a Banshee's Veil or something like that.
Okay. It's not like he needs any more DPS. I mean, he has hundreds of AP at this point, so...
I'm not sure that... Banshee's Veil not a bad item against this. It does help prevent the Gnar CC. Not quite the same as, like, stopping the Cyan ult, but, you know.
Right.
They actually have tools to stop that if Anivia gets a call, like,
Yeah.
last fight.
And honestly, like, they have a lot of good tools for them to use against Final 5.0, and
Yeah.
if they use them to their full potential, gold is very even. This game is still very even. This game is completely winnable for Clambassadors.
I would say this is still very much up in the air. The gold lead is pretty much meaningless right now.
Yeah, even if there was a 10k gold lead at this point, the gold totals are so high that it starts to be meaningless, and only the individual gold values actually matter. For example, the 3k gold discrepancy between the 80 carries. That's what matters.
That is huge. However, at the same time, there's also a big gold discrepancy in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, not that big. I'm surprised.
Oh, I thought you meant the top lane.
Yeah, but okay, top lane gold discrepancy pretty big. The Gnar is getting to be pretty tanky at this point in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
One key thing will be who gets the next dragon. So, Final 5 have 4 dragons right now. That 5th dragon will be a huge boost.
Ooh, H-Roll getting caught once again, and not Dave actually landing a pretty good... Oh, not
tricky.
Yeah, extra tricky and a lot of trouble, but he has that GA. Gets taken down by the smite, but his positioning is not going to be good after he revives, and this might be at least an inhib.
I think that was the
Ooh, that flash. That was the fight they needed. Getting the pick onto H-Roll and following up with Tempest Life's ultimate. Extra tricky, just one step out of position, but
yeah, when you don't get that reset on Jinx,
sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, now, unfortunately for Final 5, they did not have a minion wave at an inhib turret, however, they did have a giant one in top lane. They're going to at least pick up this inhib. They might actually continue pushing this. There's still 40 seconds on all 3 of the main carries.
Yeah.
They can probably finish this game right here.
I'm not 100% convinced they can finish, but they have a good chance at it, actually.
I think they can. Potential 5 is very safe right now.
No, Adam, I think you should go
Red
for
team's
there.
turret has been destroyed.
That
All right,
is
H-Roll
the
comes
turret
back.
going
Keep in mind,
down.
H-Roll still has the tidal wave.
Red
I
team's turret
probably
has
would have
been
used it
destroyed.
there. Just
I
to
don't
get them
think
off
they
the
can
turret.
save
Oh,
this,
okay.
and that will
That,
be the next
yeah, that might actually be the
going
game.
down.
Yeah,
Wow.
GG coming out
Very
for
close
Final
game
5.0. Yeah, a very close game throughout. Final 5.0 just managed to pick up
Yeah.
get that engage that they needed at the last minute and grab that victory right away.
They did a better job setting up those picks and
Yes,
ended up picking up that win.
they
Great
did.
job by both teams, though.
Yeah, no, this was by far the most interesting game of the three because it was a
Yeah.
very close game throughout. Two very interesting and honestly well executed team comps on both sides.
Yeah, and in the end, it just slightly better execution, and
Yep.
Tempest Life, especially with some great initiations, getting onto the priority targets.
Yeah, the double walls were very confusing.
So,
I did not enjoy having to keep those straight.
Oh.
But yeah, very interesting comps, very interesting games, and congratulations to Final 5.0 for
2-1
making it
victory.
out of the finals. 2-1 victory against Clambassadors. Clambassadors extremely well played. Extremely, extremely well played. This was an awesome series to watch and cast. And I hope all you guys at home are having fun as well. Because come on, what's the point of League if you're not having fun, right?
Exactly.
All right, and with that, I guess we shall depart you. I hope you all had fun listening to us talk about random league facts during the fire round. And tune in next week for the third place match and the finals.
Yep.
Night, guys.